Diaries of a Madman. Written by What Must I Do? Chapter 15. No Good Deed Goes Unpunished. Part 1. A few weeks later, to show that even in winter I can't catch a break, a letter from Princess Celestia arrived. It wasn't a particularly nice letter either. It detailed her knowledge about what happened at the Naga camp, though not her sources for such knowledge. It was a summons to Canterlot. There wasn't a fan in my world large enough to contain the shit I thought I was about to hit. The letter detailed that it would be in my best interest to accompany the guard that was coming the next day to pick me up, and that not doing so would be a rather large mistake. I was very tempted to cheese it, but if she knew what happened at the Naga camp, what else did she know? So, I made my excuses the following day and went with the guard she sent for me. I could have done a lot, but I figured there were several good excuses I could use to get out of any punishment. I'm somewhat decent at getting out of things, when I really need to be. I did make a decided point not to bring any matter of weapons with me, though. Those could only hurt my defense. I also brought the journal entries relevant to the issues, as the only hard evidence I had with me. Yes, they painted my guilt, but I wasn't planning on using them unless the situation was dire. When we got to the palace, I was escorted under heavy guard to the same fucking sitting room I ended up at every time I went into this palace. I was seriously starting to hate that fucking sitting room, and I think Celestia was doing it on purpose. I mean, this palace was pretty big. Surely there were more rooms in it. I was looking out the window, contemplating escape, when Celestia came in.
Navarone, why do you think I summoned you here?
She asked in a neutral voice. Without turning, I said, I can think of a few reasons. You want all of them, or just the ones you'd like?
By all means, tell me your thoughts.
There's almost certainly going to be a trial of sorts. What happened there, though, is what I'm debating on. One is that you're pissed for what I did, and you will seek to condemn me for it. Probably a harsh sentence, but I would ask for death if that is the case, unless exile is on the floor.
The other reasons?
I turned. You want something. You stand to gain from this, from the slaughter of the Naga. You learn my potential uses. I could be pressed into service as an agent of the state, dealing with unpleasant problems. Or the trial could be a sham, something you were forced into doing by your spy master who reported in the first place. You couldn't possibly condone something like that in your territory. But at the same time, you probably don't want to condemn me for doing what was probably right. So, you'll hold the trial and call me innocent. Or, the trial is an example to Luna, to show her the unrepentant murderer I truly am. Depending on her reactions to the trial, my fate might differ. I could end up free, exiled, dead, imprisoned, or pressed into service.
Anything else?
You just want to see me again, and didn't have a good reason to summon me to the palace.
If I ever wanted to see you, I wouldn't need a good reason to summon you. Wanting to see you would be reason enough.
I just shrugged and waited. She continued.
All of those are decent reasons, though I doubt I'd have to press you too hard to get you to do a few favors for me. I don't have to deal with legal issues when it comes to having somebody arrested. I could just tell the guards to take you away.
You could, but you wouldn't.
If there was a big enough threat to Equestria, I could and would.
Which means that either you don't consider me a threat, or that this is a false trial. And one probably means the other.
You think too much.
No, but when I do think, I plot. If you gave me a few days, I can come up with a foolproof plan to take you down unseen, have Luna installed as the only princess, and control her through her love for me. I'm just not ambitious enough to want to do that, nor would I be an overly good leader.
Killing me would have more consequences than you could possibly imagine. This world runs because I live. Luna could not take on all that responsibility or power herself, even with you controlling her.
Yeah, that's the other reason I don't do it. I have no idea what you know or what fail-safes you have in place.
Is there any reason I shouldn't have you thrown in the dungeon for what you did to the Naga? Or your threat to me?
I gave her the journal entries. Read through those if you want. If you don't want to do that, I'll try to explain. Oh, I could do both. She spent some time reading through the journal.
Your mind is twisted, Navarone,
Was the first thing she said, and then she spent some time thinking.
I did not know all of this. About the Naga. I will have to send a representative to talk with them.
I would really rather you didn't. A lot of my backup plans involve them.
That is something else we need to discuss. There is a lot I think I need to talk about concerning this.
Here we go.
First, don't think you can ever disappear to a place I can't find you. When you teleport somebody once, you can teleport them from anywhere. It just takes more energy the farther away they are. At the peak of day, I have enough energy to bring you here from anywhere on the planet, even if I wouldn't be able to move well for the next week. And with Luna helping me, I could probably rip you from anywhere, including back on your Earth, if you somehow got back there.
Oh, shit.
Second, you need to stop letting ponies break laws concerning you. Kidnapping is illegal, and is now yet another crime against you I'll have to pretend didn't happen. Third, what kind of creepy questions did those Naga ask you, and how were you able to answer them?
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, I do. Answer me.
I started telling a lie, but then her horn started glowing.
By the way, after reading that journal entry, I cast a lie detecting spell. Don't plan on lying to me in any more of our conversations.
Son of a bitch. How does that spell work?
Magic.
How does it detect a lie? Does it read some physical or emotional response from me?
Magic. Answer my question.
No. It took a lot more courage than I would have liked to say that.
After all of this, you still don't trust me?
Some crimes can't be ignored.
Which is why they must be reported. Who did it? Did Luna somehow sneak out?
It was not Luna. This is all I will say on that.
You are going to be wonderful to have on my staff in a few years. You know that.
If I'm still alive. Or sane.
Oh, no. You're not allowed to die. If I thought you would accept it, I would keep you in Canterlot as a pony until Luna was freed.
Speaking of which, you are still doing your best to get her not to love me, right? Have you managed to find any suitable male ponies for her to love instead?
The goal isn't to replace her love, it's to stop her from loving. Down that way lies nothing but pain for those such as her and I.
Her eyes were downcast for a moment before she looked up again.
But yes, I am at least trying to get her to forget you. It isn't working.
At least next year I won't be at the gala.
I don't know. You were the star attraction at the last one, and definitely provided plenty of entertainment for me.
I wouldn't be surprised if Fleur is waiting for the rogue Eagle to appear again, ready for revenge, which he won't. I said to her thoughtful expression. Now, how are we going to deal with this Naga problem?
To be quite honest, the plan was a mix of the two of those that you said. To get Luna to see you as a murderer and force you into a task for repentance. But after reading your journal and your reasoning, I am forced to admit that a trial would be stupid. Which reminds me, what is...
She bent over to look at the journal again.
Crystallinanach.
And grimaced. It was a night of extreme intolerance displayed by one ethnic group against another back on my world. Several people called Jews were assaulted or killed, arrested, and had their homes and businesses destroyed. In this respect, it would be one group plan to systematically and quietly kill everyone in the other group in the night.
And you honestly think that is what would have happened?
Given what I know about the Naga people, I think it probably would have.
Good enough for me. And I know I can't call you unrepentant because you were definitely vocal in here about how bad you felt about doing it. Didn't stop you, of course. I think you mentioned something before about Nuremberg laws, which covered this?
If someone orders you to break the law and you do it, you can't hide behind the excuse, "I was only following orders." We could do this farce of a trial if you want, but you will gain no support by anyone in the court from it, especially if you declare me guilty but fail to lock me up. And declaring me innocent would be tantamount to saying genocide is okay so long as it's against your enemies. I killed non-combatants. Accidentally, but that doesn't mean anything.
You aren't making me feel any better about not giving you a trial.
You already told me my sentence, a task, but you have not yet said what this task will be.
Remember, you don't have an option here. It is this or prison.
This is sounding better and better.
There has been a problem, I suppose is the best word, across the ocean. It is not something I can ignore, but it is also not safe over there, even for me. Not where this happened. I will be leading a contingent of guards across the ocean to attempt to restore order, but none of them have any combat experience. You are to accompany me and Twilight as our bodyguard. She already knows, of course, but none of her friends do yet. We will be gone for around a year, probably.
What happened? Was there a rebellion?
No, nothing as bad as that. A few incursions from other races, but nothing too bad. Until now. The real problem is the drought. Food is hard to grow there, and we can only ship so much from here to there, and Twilight and I are going to use our magic to help make rain, since so many ponies are starving. It is not a new problem, but one that was exacerbated by the increasing incursions from hostile creatures. That is why we're bringing guards. Before we could at least distribute the food we sent over there evenly. Now though, our relief shipments are being disrupted. Your job is simple. Protect us. The soldiers will take care of everything else.
Why can't the guards guard you? You know, like that name implies?
Because you are available, and some guards have to stay here. I don't have many of them, so I have to use them carefully. You are also probably more effective as a fighter than many of them anyway.
He apparently didn't realize my fighting skills were basically shooting and running away. I contemplated running again, but I wouldn't get too far before I was either dragged back or teleported back. Besides, if she was telling the truth about what would happen if she died, it would be a good idea to protect her. Damn it. It's not like anyone wants to hurt her anyway, right? When did we leave? Pretty damn soon, as it turned out. I was carried back to Ponyville and given 2 days to prepare. Now, this may be my personal bias from back home, but when I found out our destination was the Middle East, I freaked out a bit. I grabbed every crossbow bolt I could find, the tools to make more, and every other weapon I had. I went down to the nearest pig farm and got some pig bones to wear as charms. I know that's stereotyping, and probably wasn't even relevant, but I wasn't taking any chances. I also got some more alcohol to replace what I lost or drank. I knew there wouldn't be much room for me on whatever ship we took, so I did make sure to travel relatively light, even if we would be gone for a year. I grabbed some spare clothes, enough material to keep me writing for a while, something I could hopefully use as a honing stone for my knife, the fire strikers, that brown cloak that seems to follow me everywhere, rubber bands for my hair, and gloves. I felt ready to kick all kinds of ass. Of course, it wasn't as simple as packing up and leaving. No. When you have friends, leaving is never so easy. Spike was going with us as Twilight's assistant, so saying goodbye to him wasn't an issue. Rarity was no trouble for me, since we never got along that well anyway. We pretended, just for Twilight's sake. And there was no animosity there, but we were just too different to get along easily. Applejack wasn't that hard. She was usually at the farm, and I didn't know her as well as the others. The Still incident drove a bit of a rift between us as well, even though it wasn't my fault. Rainbow Dash was surprisingly hard. After she got over the whole selfishly almost getting me killed thing, we grew pretty tight, and me getting wings brought a bond even closer. She was probably the only pony that was most similar to me as well. We both were more fond of actions than words. It got us in plenty of trouble as well. Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy were outright troublesome to say goodbye to. The three of us grew into great friends during the dance lessons, and our experiences with the Naga brought us even closer. The Honing Rock was actually one of Pinkie Pie's mementos from her early days at the farm, giving it to me as a parting gift, even though I was planning on coming back. Fluttershy was probably the saddest to see me go for some reason. For the one that was the most afraid of me when I got here, she sure changed her mind about me for some reason. Opposites attract, I suppose. Though we weren't as opposite as she thought. At heart, I was a coward. I just knew how to hide it better. But goodbyes aside, leaving wasn't that difficult. Ponyville was a nice little town if you were normal, but just a place to live in if you weren't. Everyone was friendly but cold to me, even after a year. I understood, of course. Somehow a rumor spread that I was responsible for the explosion and fire at Applejack's place, even though I was miles away at the time. Aside from a few friends in the Naga, there was nothing for me in Equestria. A shorter upload than usual, especially for Diaries of a Madman, mainly because there's no good place to cut besides this, and even then it's abrupt. So I apologize if it was a little jarring. I did the best with what I could. It's just this chapter runs itself constantly for the whole chapter, so you'll understand what I mean once we get to the next part. That aside, however, I would like to thank my wonderful Patreons. Thank you my Tier 1s, Pony Entertainment, Macaria, Lord High, Jason, Hyperlink, Jason Master, Bounce Kindness, Demon Dark, Angel, Boof, Lost, Nebula, 9 Games, Sword Brother, Mordred, Dreamless, Portal, Steve, and Shadow Angel. My Tier 2s, Captain Blue, Shadow, Chaotic Mist, The Animated Ghost, DJ Mix 2000, Elemental Wolf, Atron Wolf, King 20, Mr. Crazy Deacon, Solar Comet, Tuna Troll Trooper, Volio Cod, G-Man 121 Garza, Saint Gonk, Mackenzie, McCullis, Nocturne, Papa Lennon, Cloudzaza, Solus Clip, Sword Brother Mordred, Artie Bryant, Rihanna Dragon Wolf, Steel Spark 6 Nobody, Andrew Ingram, Rocky 2522, and Weewu. A big thank you to my previous Titan tiers, Dark Guardian, Danish Dash, Maverick, and User 1842. And a big thank you to my current ones, Biss Eclipse and Silent Titan. I appreciate you guys' support so much, and it means a ton to me. That said, however, this has been Firehearth. Have a wonderful day.